Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We are going to be doing some baking today, so I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you come along with me and maybe do some baking of your own. So I wanted to get some baked goods in the freezer, so we're going to be just doing a little bit of baking here, and I split it up into 2 days because I have little ones, and yeah, if I try to do too much in one day, yeah, it just works better if I kind of split things up into a couple days. So first thing that we are making is some cinnamon rolls, and this is our favorite thing. We love having cinnamon rolls in the freezer to get out and eat. They're so good warmed up or just with your morning coffee. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to share this recipe with you, but grab your own cinnamon roll recipe and make some cinnamon rolls with me, and I'll show you how I go about making these. So we're just mixing up all the ingredients right now, getting everything mixed in really well, and I do leave my cinnamon roll dough sticky. So this just makes more of a softer dough, and it makes your cinnamon rolls softer in the end. So it's a little challenging to work with, but if you just oil up your hands, it's not too bad. So that is what the cinnamon rolls look like before they were risen, and I know someone's going to ask me how long I let them rise, and I honestly don't time it because it usually depends on the weather and things like that. Depending how the weather is outside, it rises differently, but I think this time I did let it rise for about an hour, but I usually just let it until it's about double in size. And while that is rising, I'm going to go ahead and make my cinnamon mixture, and this is just white sugar, brown sugar, and then cinnamon to make a mixture for the center. Once my dough is rised, you can kind of see how big it is there. That'll give you kind of an idea how much it needs to rise. And then we're going to work it out on the table, and you need plenty of flour on the table so that because your dough is so sticky, you want plenty of flour there. And then I'm just going to get it out and just kind of shape it and then start rolling it out. And then as it gets a little sticky, just kind of sprinkle some more flour on top to get it nice and rolled out like you want it. And then next we're adding some butter. I just softened the butter really well to where it's nice and spreadable, and then we're going to spread butter all over the dough. And then next comes the cinnamon sugar mixture. And then this one I spread out all the way out almost to the edges on both sides. And then we're going to start rolling it up. And I always try to roll it up pretty tightly because you don't want them falling apart, so the tighter the better. And this gets a little challenging once you get up to where the dough is really sticky. Your hands just want to stick to it, but eventually I got it all rolled up. And then once you have it all rolled up, you want to just make it all uniform in size, kind of stretch it out where it's a little fatter and get it all the same size. That way all your cinnamon rolls are the same size as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut them, of course make them all as near to the same size as I can, and just get them cut with this little plastic cutter here. And next is putting them onto pans. I just sprayed down my pans and then put them on. I'm going to bake a dozen on each of these sheet pans. And then as I'm putting them on, just kind of flattening them out and getting them a nice circle shape. And then once I have them on the pans, just set them back again to let them rise again a little bit. And again, I'm not sure how long I let them rise. I just kind of watch them until they're rising again, until they're a nice size before I put them into the oven. And then once they were all put out onto pans, of course it's cleanup, and I always like to try to clean up as I go, just so it's not that big of a mess at the end. So we're going to get the table all cleaned up, get all the flour off. Chloe is working on the floor here. Alright, and here is how they are looking. We're going to let these rise for just a bit, and then we're going to pop them in the oven. And while we're waiting on those, I'm going to go ahead and make us some lunch, and we are going to make some of these Big Mac tacos that I've been hearing about so much, and they are super good. I use turkey burger for us, and it's really up to you how you want to do them. I just seasoned them. Put my burger on the little tacos and then seasoned them, and we're going to throw them in the pan. And then once they get out of the pan, you can top them with some cheese if you want to. I'm also adding some fried mushrooms. I had some mushrooms in the refrigerator that need to be used up, so I'm going to get those fried, and those added a nice flavor to them as well. And then once your burgers are done, you can add this Big Mac sauce to them, and then just add whatever toppings you want. We're adding lettuce and then our mushrooms. I totally forgot to put cheese on them, but they were good anyways, just the way they were. So that is going to be our lunch. We're going to eat, and then we're going to keep going with the cinnamon rolls. Now we are working on our frosting. The cinnamon rolls are getting ready to bake, so we're going to work on the frosting, and this is a caramel frosting. So we're going to get that cooked. This needs to cook for a couple minutes, and once it has been boiling for a couple minutes, we're going to just set it off the burner. And then I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit, and then start adding in powdered sugar until it's a nice frosting consistency. Alright, so our first pan is done. We're going to get that out. That's how they look, just a slight brown. You don't want to overbake them at all. Now we're going to go ahead and get these frosted while they're still warm. That way the frosting kind of melts into the cinnamon roll. Yeah, this is kind of a learning art that I had to learn when I started making cinnamon rolls, is when to frost them, how thick to make your frosting, when to know, how to frost them, and that it's just kind of a learning curve to it, but you kind of start to learn when they're warm enough to frost. And of course, we are going to have to try one. Me and Chloe decided to take a little cinnamon roll break, and we're going to try our warm cinnamon rolls. They were delicious, by the way. We're going to get some milk for Chloe, and then I'm going to go ahead and just make me a coffee for myself. And then to put these away, get them ready for the freezer, I'm going to individually wrap each one, and this just makes them easier to get out than later. If you want to just grab one or two, you can just grab whatever you need. But you can totally put these just in an airtight container as well if that works better for you. I just prefer them this way. And then you also want to either get these frozen, pre-freeze them, and then you can put them like in a big gallon-sized Ziploc bag or like in a airtight container or whatever to keep them in the freezer, however you want to store them. And wrapping them individually, each one does take a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it in the end to have them individually wrapped. And Mark takes these sometimes to the guys at work and just hands them out, and it's easier for them as well to just grab and go. Alright, and here we are the next morning. So we did the cinnamon rolls yesterday, and now we are going to be working on some filled cookies. Now, if you remember correctly, I did some whoopie pies here on a video a while back. I'll try to find that one and link that one for you. This time we are going to, it's the same style of cookie, like it's a filled cookie, but this one is going to be an oatmeal cookie. So we're going to get started with that this morning. This was a new recipe for me. I had never made the oatmeal style filled cookies before. So we're going to try this out, and the recipe that I used, the flavor was really good, spot on what we wanted, but I think I need to tweak it a little bit to get it the right consistency. I think the cookies were a bit flat, so I need to figure out what I need to do for that. I did try to refrigerate the cookie a little bit, sometimes that helps, or adding a bit more flour, but we'll have to see the next time I make them, maybe tweak it just a little bit here and there. But we're going to get everything mixed up. I will be adding this recipe in the description for you if you want to check it out. And maybe if you make it and they turn out perfect for you, let me know what you did to get them really nice. Weston decided to join us this morning. He wanted to see what was going on, so we're going to set him here, and that way he can watch us. And now we're just putting the cookies out on our sheet pan, and then we're going to get them baked. And I wasn't sure, maybe I baked them too hot or not hot enough. Maybe that's why they just really flattened out. They looked really nice when I got them out of the oven, but then they just flattened as they cooled. So I need to figure out what I need to do different next time. But like I said, the flavor was spot on. They were really good. And of course, Chloe, she wanted to help put the cookies out. She got a pan filled up for me. And now we're just working on frosting these, and I actually buy my filling. It's super easy to use this way, and the filling is really good. But you are welcome to make a frosting or a filling for yourself. And like the cinnamon rolls, I'm also going to wrap these individually, again, just so that they're easy to grab and go out of the freezer. And I will say these did not last long around here. They were gone before I knew it. And then again, once these are all wrapped individually, you can put these in an airtight container or in a big gallon-sized bag or whatever to freeze them. So that is what we did with these. Alright, so that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed baking with me, and I will see you next time. Bye!